This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by Callum Smith, the WBA Super World Super Middleweight Champion, the Ring Magazine title holder, WBC Diamond Belt holder, the Muhammad Ali Trophy title holder, trophy. There's a lot of Callum. It never gets easier despite how many times I interview and have to introduce them all. But how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Good to be back. So yeah, things are good.
Talking about like life returning back to camp, how have you found kind of getting back into the gym?
Yeah, it's been good. I've enjoyed it. Obviously, it's a little bit similar to when you have a fight, you have a few weeks off after it. Obviously, I've had a bit more than a few weeks off, but I've been doing a little bit. But I've seen some fighters basically just grafting the balls off twice a day on their Instagram and the guard and stuff. And I took it more as I enjoyed the family time in lockdown, and took my foot off the gas a bit and had a good rest, which we kind of get deprived at that time when we're in full camp. It's full on and you miss out on a lot of the family stuff. So it's been good, but after a few weeks you do want to get back to what you do best and get back to work. And now the gyms are back open, it's good to get back in and slowly just start getting that daily routine back, which we're always used to.
Now, no matter what stage of your career you've been at, there's always been talk about yourself and making weight. With this kind of break, do you feel it will affect you at all? Have you seen any kind of differences, or maybe has it been a bit tougher these couple of weeks where it would have been maybe a bit easier previously?
In terms of my weight?
Yeah.
No, my weight's always, I seem to hit a point and it stays at that. I think just my body changes, I lose a bit of my muscle and gain a bit of puppy fat around the stomach. But again, I've always said I'll take a fight by fight. People have been saying I'll move up soon from probably 2 years as a pro, and everyone's always questioned how long I'll stay at the weight, and I keep doing it, I keep performing at it, and until that changes, until I feel like it's hurt me and it's affecting my performance, then I'll move up. Or if all my options are gone at super middle, then I'll move up, because I do believe I'm good enough, I'm big enough to compete at the top at 175 as well. But as long as there's options for me at super middle and I can still do the weight comfortable, then I'll stay here as long as I can. But 175 is an option at some point, just I'm not sure when.
I know you're huge and you're hugely keen and you're eager to get a big fight at 168 now, whether it be a unification or the Canelo fight's obviously been talking about, and don't really want to keep on touching on that. But is it now either a big fight or move up?
I don't know. Obviously, there's two ways to look at this big break we've had. You think, well, do you want to come off basically 12 months out and jump into a big fight? Ideally, you wouldn't, but in this scenario, your opponent's probably at the same layoff, so it's back to a level playing field. And do I want to waste more of my career having a tick-over fight, so to speak, when I've already just sat out for basically 12 months? So ideally, I'd like to just get back in and make up for lost time and just get involved in the big fights. We've all had the layoff, so it is kind of, we're all in the same position. So I've said for a while now, I want the big fight. I want to test myself, and I believe that's when people see the best of me, when I'm up against it. And that's all I've ever asked for off my team, just deliver me the best fights possible, and I still stand by that. I know I've got trust in my team to deliver the best fights for me, and I believe I beat anyone in the world at 168, and I'd like to just prove that.
You're obviously a much bigger name than what's kind of been mentioned for the behind closed door shows, given your stature and with holding the titles and what have you. How do you actually see these coming months playing out for yourself though?
I don't know, because I think obviously they've announced they're going to do a few shows behind closed doors, and like you said, I don't think you'll see many world title fights on them or anything like that. But if we start getting to the end of the year and we're still not allowed crowds, then it might be a case of you've got to just bite the bullet and do it. I can't sit out for another 12 months and not fight just because I don't want to fight behind closed doors. So if it's a case of waiting a few months and then we'll be back to normal, then I think most fighters probably will. But the unknown of not knowing how long this is going to happen or when we will get a crowd, that's the frustrating part, because if you were to say we'll have a crowd in November, then I'd aim for November, but we could reach November and there's still no sign of a crowd, and I've wasted more time in my career and more time, the best years in my career really. I'm world champion and now I want to capitalise on that. So I don't know. I'll speak to Eddie and we'll see what he thinks going to happen and what the next few months look like. But now I want to get back boxing as soon as possible, preferably back to normal with a crowd, but again, we'll have to wait and see.
What kind of are the early discussions, or what have you said with Eddie or with your team and with Joe about names? Because I know it's obviously very difficult at the minute, and with the Matchroom shows that are coming up at Matchroom HQ, you did kind of, if you look at it, you'd imagine that you're kind of for as bad as it sounds, maybe not the priority
Yeah.
because we're just focusing on getting shows back for this moment in time.
Yeah, again, I spoke to Eddie about a month ago, I think, and I'm due to speak to him again this week. Again, I'm expecting I'll know a little bit more than we did last time we spoke, but it was more just, I think, just taking it week by week with the government guidelines and just see what we're looking at. And I think he's optimistic we'll get crowds towards the back end of the year. We'll have to just wait and see, but again, it does affect me because for the meantime, for the early shows, I don't think I'm in the line for one of them, but I would like to fight this year, so whether that's with a crowd or without, I would like to get back out and just get my career back rolling again. So again, it's still all up in the air, but not just for me, for every boxer in the country, and we've all just got to sit and ride it out, and hopefully we can get back to normal soon enough.
I know one name which many people would like to see, yourself and Billy Joe are two British fighters, so it's obviously be easier to make than with somebody who's in the US or elsewhere. But say if crowds don't return, is that type of fight something that you don't envisage could happen behind closed doors?
It's weird. I think that the maybe Billy Joe's type of fight, that probably makes sense. I think if Canelo didn't exist in a situation, then that fight would be made pretty simple. I understand if he can get Canelo, that comes before me, and rightly so, and it'd be the same vice versa. We both kind of want that fight. If neither of us can get it, then I think that fight makes sense. It's a British unification. Outside of Joshua Fury, it's the only other possible British unification at the minute, I think. So it is a fight that should make behind closed doors. I'm not too sure. I think I'd happily fight him behind closed doors, and I'm sure he'd happily fight me. I think it's more just the logistics of things, the promotional side, the financial side, obviously with no crowd and stuff. I don't know whether that'd work on both parties kind of thing, but in terms of fighting each other, it is a fight. I've boxed in Saudi Arabia, I'd box anywhere, it is a ring at the end of the day, but I think that type of fight probably does deserve a big crowd and big kind of build up over here with all British unification. But again, we'll have to wait and see what happens with him and Canelo, and if them two fight each other, then I have to look elsewhere. So it's a complicated situation, but it's a good situation to be in. I'm in a good division with a lot of big names, and hopefully I can secure one of them.
Obviously, just to briefly touch on Canelo, Billy Joe was close to announcing that fight. He was all in talks. Billy Joe was close to announcing it before lockdown. Since then, that fight hasn't been spoken about, and now we've seen Anthony Dirrell, Sergey Derevyanchenko and Willie Monroe Jr. The names coming up as possible opponents for Canelo. What's been your thoughts on seeing those names now, given that yourself and Billy Joe are in talks?
I think, again, I don't know, I'm not involved in them negotiations, but my thing is, I think with the no crowds, obviously a Canelo crowd generates a lot of the revenue to pay himself and his opponent, and now that's gone, they probably want a cheaper opponent, and Billy Joe's obviously got his number that he wants to be paid and his number that he's agreed on, so I doubt he's going to take less for the same fight a few months later. So I don't know, I think they're probably looking at a fighter that will take less, where they can save on the money they're going to lose and then rearrange the Billy Joe fight next. So I think that from my side looking in, that's what I see it as. They're just trying to get a cheaper opponent to do behind closed doors so they don't take a bigger hit, and then when crowds are back they can get back and pay Billy Joe what they were planning on paying him. Whereas I think your Dirrells aren't in a position to demand the big pay, so they may take it. But again, they can get a cheap opponent, but then the zone have still got to approve it, so I think that's where it gets complicated on their side. But a couple of weeks ago, a lot of the names are firing up. Now it seems to have gone quiet again. We haven't really heard much on it this week, so I don't know where they're at. Maybe it's back on Billy Joe, I'm not too sure, but hopefully they'll get something sorted.
What do you think it is that it seems to have been so hard to make unification fights in the 168-pound division for a number of years now?
I think over the last few years it was more a promotional thing. I obviously beat Bros for the belt. I was with Matchroom, and then Ramirez was with Top Rank at the time, and I spoke to them and they were keen for the fight, and then he moved up, so that and then obviously Billy Joe won it, so then that become a bit more possible. Plant Benavidez about with Al Heyman, so I think there's more chance of them fighting each other before they fight, probably me or Saunders. So hopefully they can get a fight on with each other, and then the winner, it makes more sense then for the winner. If me and Billy Joe can fight, we can hopefully do 2 semi-finals and then a final, and hopefully get an undisputed champion. But it's just it's the part people don't see, and it's the downside to boxing. It's the promotional side, and fights don't happen because of different promoters and different TV channels. It's not as straightforward as the fighters would like, but there is ways around it. People from different promoters still fight each other. They've all just got to agree, and hopefully that can be the case at 168.
Before I let you go, Callum, I'm just want to get your thoughts on a few fights that have been spoken about at the minute, and starting off with these shows behind closed doors for Matchroom. Guys, today Sam Egginton has been sparring your brother Liam. Talks about him and Ted Cheeseman, just waiting to kind of hear an announcement on you. What be your thoughts if that does go ahead?
It's a good fight. I think stylistically they're both known to have a good fight, to take a few to land a few, and I think stylistically it could be a good fight. Sam obviously had a few losses to my brother Liam, and then his confidence was probably high. He went to Italy and come away with a good win, whereas Cheeseman was on a great run of form, and then he had I think last year was 2 losses and 1 draw. A few of them were close and debatable, but on paper he's lost 2 and drew 1 out of his last 3 fights. So confidence-wise, that's got to have an effect on him, and there's a lot on this fight for him in terms of pressure and where his career goes after. He can't afford another loss, and the same for Sam. He can't afford another loss, to be honest with you. So there's a lot at stake for either fighter, and I think I can see in the Fitzgerald one. I think Cheeseman took a lot of stick after the Garcia fight for taking too many shots and neglecting his defence, and then in the Fitzgerald fight he seemed to box on the back foot and use his brain a little bit more, and then ends up getting dragged into a fight later on. And I think he'll use similar tactics. I think he'll try and outbox Sam early on, and then at some point he will engage, and it'll end up a good fight to watch. And in terms of who wins, I don't know. I think it depends what Sam's got left, and how the bad last year has affected Cheeseman's confidence, and is he the same fighter he once was, or is he starting to be on the decline? I don't know, but it's an interesting one, and it's a good fight definitely. And as far as getting boxing back on the telly, that's a good one to get it going with.
And another fight which has been spoken about is between 2 of your past opponents, Rocky Fielding and John Ryder.
Yeah.
What would be your thoughts if those two had a rematch 3 years on from when they fought previously?
A good fight. The careers are both has a few twists and turns since they both fought last time. Ryder's on good form. Rocky obviously had the loss to Canelo, and then he had a while out. He's come back. He's had a win, and he's probably looking to get back in the picture again. So it's a good fight. The winner puts himself back in the mix for the big fight. The loser probably takes a step back. So at that stage in the career, they can't really afford to take a step back. I think they're both in the 30s. So it's a good fight, an interesting one. Ryder I think he believes he won the first fight. It was a very close fight, so he probably want to put that straight. And Ryder's name's probably a little bit better thought of now because of the fight with me. So if Rocky was to get a win over him, it's a good win for Rocky again. So it's a good fight, and again, I've heard it mentioned. I don't know whether it's close to being made or not. I'm not too sure, but again, another fight, and if it's behind closed doors, then it's a good match. And
then finally, just to get your thoughts on it, obviously about just over a week ago we had the announcement that Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury had agreed terms for a 2-fight deal in principle for 2021. When you heard the announcement, Callum, what was your reaction to it?
To be honest with you, I seen it, I thought it was a fake account that had announced it. I thought, how can they agree a fight? And they said that's a huge fight, a massive fight for British boxing. The first ever undisputed all British fight, and at heavyweight as well. It adds that little bit more to it. But I don't know why. Obviously they've got the good publicity off it, but I don't know why they've both got a fight in the meantime, and then they've both got mandatories they need to agree to. I'm sure Usyk's not going to sit and wait and let them have because it's a 2-fight deal, so he's not going to let them have 2 fights while he sits and waits around. And I'm sure Dillian White will have the same thing, and Povetkin will have the same. So was it Pulev who's Joshua's other mandatory? Pulev, sorry, yeah. So you've got to get all them to agree to step aside for 2 fights, not just the one. So I think it's a little bit more complicated than what people seeing. But listen, if they can get a fight on together for all the belts, then that's massive, that's huge. They're both doing great things for British boxing anyway, but them to fight each other would be huge, and I hope it does happen. But at the same time, you have got to feel for your Dillian White, your Usyks and stuff who've fought and got themselves in the position, and they're expected to just sit around and wait and let them crack on. But that's boxing. It's complicated, but I just want to see the best fight the best, and that is a huge fight.
I obviously asked your brother before yourself, and I'll ask you now. There's been some rumours and people saying that maybe Tyson Fury could be elevated to the WBC's franchise champion. If that was to happen, and obviously all the belts were still being held by AJ and by Tyson, would you class it as an undisputed fight, knowing that AJ can't become a franchise champion?
Yeah, that's the thing. If Fury wins it, then he's got the 3 belts and he's WBC. He hasn't lost the WBC title. Whereas I think if Joshua wins it, he's still not WBC champion. He still won't have that WBC belt. So it's a little bit complicated on Joshua's side. Whereas if Fury wins it, you've got to say he's undisputed champion. He's got all the belts. But for Joshua, he'll still not have that green belt, which he probably wants. So it's a shame really, and I just think the franchise champion's just a way of complicating it even more, and people getting out of mandatories and stuff, so you get to a mandatory position and then the champion can just be promoted and you can go and win your belt, but there's still someone ranked a little bit higher than you. Like, in my opinion, no, the WBC champion at lightweight is Lomachenko. He's franchise champion, and you've got Devin Haney as the thing, but Devin Haney wouldn't be world champion if Lomachenko didn't get promoted, so it just devalues it a little bit, but again, they've got the reasons for doing it. But I'd like to just, even as a boxer, it's obviously more belts is better for us because it's easier to achieve your dream and become a world champion, but in my opinion there is too many and there needs to just be, no, the WBA regular should be gone. WBC, no, diamond, I've got a diamond belt, I don't class it as a world title. It's just the WBC champion is the WBC champion. Your diamond, your silvers, your franchise, they all need to go in my opinion, and just have your 4 belts. Even that's probably too many, but they've been around for a while now, so you've got your 4 main belts. You win one of them, you're world champion. All the others are a bit of a grey area.
Callum, one final thing before I do let you go, didn't get a touch on him. Liam, your brother, obviously, some talks about, previously it was Carl Brook and now we've seen Jesse Vargas' name come up. Liam versus Jesse Vargas, what were your thoughts if we was to see that fight? It's
a good fight. It spoke about around last year, and obviously there'd been a better fight then before. He's now gone and lost to Mikey Garcia, so now a win over him isn't as good as what it probably would have been, but it's still a good fight. He's a big name, especially over in the States, and it's a good matchup for Liam. I think Liam just wants the big fights now. He's always in the gym. You've seen then he's been sparring. He's not long back in camp and he jumps in and he'll spar anyone, and he's just always he's itching to get back in there, and he wants the biggest fights possible, whether that's Vargas, Brook or Lem. He just wants the big names to put himself back in line for another world title shot. So fingers crossed things can get sorted, and Eddie can sort him a decent fight, which I feel he deserves. He had a good year last year. I think 3 fights, 3 wins, a couple on the road as well, and just keep him busy, and that's probably the most active he's been in a few years, and he wants to build on that now.
Callum, we'll leave that there now then, like I say, and we'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. It's been a pleasure to catch up with you. Stay safe, and I will speak to you soon. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
And you, mate. Speak to you in a bit.